Welcome to the orientation for the International Exchange for the Illinois Consortium for International Studies and Programs. Please complete this training before your exchange partner comes, and you'll probably want some time to prepare for some of these things in advance. So we'll look at before the visit, and the return visit in this orientation. So before the visit, before your exchange partner comes to visit you in the U.S., there's some things you'll want to prepare. Spend some time reviewing the materials that were sent to you by ICISP, some of the policies and suggestions and things to do and not to do. Get to know your exchange partner. You should have been sent their contact information, so it's good to introduce yourself and your family and your work situation, where you live and things like that with your exchange partner. You might want to send them some photos, of your school and yourself, your family, your community, your home, things like that. Become friends on Facebook or Instagram or some type of social media where you can see each other, see what your interests are, and pictures of your family and friends and things like that. You can also Skype with each other or message each other. One app that a lot of international people I've found use is WhatsApp. That's a great free app you can use to message and send pictures and videos and different things, and even call, video chat. On the home front, you should spend some time just describing to them some of what they can expect when they come. So their bedroom and the place they'll be staying, and if they have their own bathroom or if they'll be sharing that. The laundry situation and what they can wash so that they don't need to pack 2 weeks worth of clothing. What type of computer access they might have, if you have a computer they can use, or if you have Wi-Fi and they can use a device on that. That's good for them to know. Also ask about any needs they might have with accommodations or their diet. Are there certain restrictions or food allergies or sensitivities that you should be aware of? Also, you should suggest clothing for them, appropriate for the weather. In the Midwest in the fall, of course, it could be cool or it could be warm, so you might just suggest what would be best for the time that they're going to be here. And also, what is appropriate dress for at work if they need something more dressed up or less or more casual. So just talk with them about what would be appropriate for them to wear at work, and if there's maybe some special events they also might need to dress up more for as well. Get a map or guidebook or information about the area or things you want to visit for them that they could look at when they come. You might also send them some links to things they could look at online ahead of time and just get familiar with your college and the area you live in and your state, and maybe there'd be things they see that would be of interest to them. And also take some time just to learn about your partner's country. You can find a ton of information online. Just find out a little bit more about their culture and where they're from, and maybe what types of things are common in their area and what people do and enjoy doing. And prepare a schedule for your partner's visit when you come. Ask them what they're especially interested in seeing and doing at work and in your community or in your area, and work with your ICISP representative about some customary events they may do at your campus. So maybe they arrange a meeting with your college administration, or have some type of welcome reception, or do a campus tour, or have some meals arranged with college leadership or various people. And also ask your partner to be prepared to give a presentation in case that's needed about their school or their country or workplace and things like that. And also ask people who have hosted exchange visitors in the past. There's probably some in your campus you could talk to and your ICISP representative and ask them about what activities were successful and people enjoyed in the past. That might be good for you to do as well. And consider visiting other educational institutions. Maybe there's some other public schools in your area or universities or other community colleges you would want to visit and take them to and show them around. They probably would enjoy seeing that as well. And consider visiting some local businesses or other institutions. So maybe there's some business and industry related to their field or discipline they would find interesting to visit and see an American version of that business or institution here. And think about what type of classes and talk with them about that they might want to visit. Maybe they would want to sit in or even be a guest speaker in them. Or if there's certain meetings and activities you would like to take them to. If appropriate, you can take them along with you to meetings and activities that are part of your job or that you're involved in the community. And then also, talk with your colleagues about opportunities for your visitor to go to their classes or even teach or be a guest speaker in their classroom. And schedule some free time in your schedule. Sometimes we tend to overschedule things, and your exchange partner will need some time to adjust to the new time zone and overcome jet lag, at least the first few days especially, and to get a little bit more rest. And when you're at work, you don't need to spend every minute of the day together. You can plan some time, to be apart or for them to be with someone else, or even just to have some time to work on. They might have some work they need to do, or take care of some email or follow up with other things. So give them a little bit of space to work on their own as well. They'll probably find the break useful and have some things that they need to do. Your partner might also appreciate some breaks to go get coffee or tea or snack or something too during the day. And then talk with them about how you want to handle lunch during the day. Like, do you want to pack lunches and take that with you, or is there a cafeteria at your school you want to eat at together, or nearby restaurants or places you want to go for lunch? So talk with them about that and be flexible, and maybe there's some places that you would like to take them they would find interesting. Also begin with suitable activities your partner has expressed an interest in. So there might be things they want to do and places they want to go and see. So you can plan to do that and take them to things that you enjoy doing. So maybe you take them along to the gym or to your family's sporting events or activities they're involved in. They'll enjoy just kind of seeing what normal American life and culture is like, even if it just seems like a routine thing to you. It's good to include them in that, and they'll enjoy that as well. And include others, with you when you do things, maybe other family members or friends or neighbors that they would enjoy spending some time with along with you. And talk with your partner ahead of time about how much you can afford and your guests can afford to spend for various activities. So if you're going to share costs when they come to visit, or if you're going to pay for everything and then expect them to reciprocate when you go, you might want to talk about that ahead of time and what the expectations are and what's reasonable and affordable for both of you. And if possible, arrange for your partner to visit with others in their homes, maybe friends or family. And consider arranging events at neighboring schools, maybe, that are also hosting other exchange visitors through ICISP. So maybe there's a campus nearby you could visit and get to know another visitor from the same or a different country. So prepare your tentative schedule ahead of time and send it to your exchange partner and get their input. They might see some things that are missing they want to do, or maybe they'll think it's too much and want to change that. But just be flexible as you prepare that and get their input. And you may also want to send it to your ICISP representative on your campus to get their input as well. Maybe there's activities they want to plan that you didn't think about, or would just have a good idea of what might be proper to plan and what might be too much, and so on. So during the visit, when your exchange partner comes here to the U.S., go to the airport and greet your exchange partner when they're coming out of the secured area. You'll be glad that they do that for you when you go to visit them and are kind of disoriented and unaware of where you are and where you're going. And get your partner's flight arrangements ahead of time and be sure to check and see if their flight is on time or delayed or whatever, so you can be there at the appropriate time to welcome them. Show your partner everything they might need, just for their own comfort and independence in your home and at work. Maybe where some supplies are, or snacks, or drinks, or things like that in your kitchen, or at work where they can, get a drink of water, or go to the bathroom, or find a vending machine, or just whatever they might need to be comfortable. And try to keep up your partner to a reasonable bedtime, especially the first few days that they come. They'll probably be used to a time zone that's several hours ahead, so they'll be wanting to go to bed early and feel tired. So you might want to get out and just do some activity to keep them going and help them adjust to the change in the time zone. And just be aware that eating and sleeping schedules are going to be off a little bit the first few days as they adjust to this new time zone, which you will experience as well when you go there. And also ask your partner for emergency contact information for their family and school, just in case it's needed. Can discuss telephone and computer use. Probably most people will have a cell phone and be aware of how to dial home if they need to, and what free apps they might be able to use, like Skype and WhatsApp and Messenger and similar types of things. But if they need help with that, you can talk about that and how to connect to your Wi-Fi at home and the network at your college. Colleges typically will provide some type of gift for your guests, and maybe you will also and talk about who might pay for that. Your college might provide some type of gift with your logo and school name on it, whether it's a nice pen set or shirt or whatever. It's nice to have something to give them from your college. So when your partner comes, introduce them to other college staff and faculty, especially in your area and department, and those of a similar discipline, and arrange a tour of the campus or give a tour yourself, and think about what they might need access to and how to get them that ahead of time, like if they want to use the library or cafeteria or fitness center or some other type of special facility at your college. And also provide access and time for your partner to use a computer on campus. So maybe they need a temporary network login or a computer to use while they're on your campus. So ask about that ahead of time to be prepared for that. While they're at work with you, as we said, try to plan some breaks during the day to get out and have a snack or coffee or something. Many people abroad are used to bicycling a lot, so if you have a bike they can use, they might appreciate that. Just to use for fun, or to go on bike rides with you, or just to get out and explore on their own a little bit as well. And as I mentioned before, just be clear about expenses that you plan to pay for, and maybe you expect them to pay for while they're here visiting, and when you go back and go to their country as well. It's better to talk about that ahead of time and try to be clear about what you're able to do and what's affordable for both of you and what those expectations might be. And hopefully they will reciprocate that when you go back to visit them in May. And things don't have to cost a lot. You can do many free and inexpensive activities, like we mentioned, bike rides or hikes or high school football games or festivals, farmers markets, or they probably just enjoy even doing the routine activities of grocery shopping, or maybe going to the mall and walking around, or of course visiting Chicago or other major cities and sites to see as well. But you don't have to spend a lot of money and do expensive kinds of activities either. And just enjoy the time and relax and have fun with them while they're here. And don't overwork. Try to get maybe some things done ahead of time, so you'll have a little bit more time during the time they are visiting you, because you'll be busy with them and be trying to do things with them. So, try not to overplan your own schedule during the time that they're here, but to be more available to spend time with them and do things with them. And also the schedule you plan, be flexible. It's not a straitjacket, not something you have to stick to all the time, and you might find maybe it's too much some days and you need a break, or things change. So just be flexible with that. And if you do run into problems with your partner, try to work things out with them. And if that's a problem, then talk with your ICISP representative on your campus and see how you can work through that. So on the return visit, when you go to your host in May, try to learn about some things about the country ahead of time. So you might get a guidebook or look online. You can find a ton of information online about the country and maybe the city and the place, the college you'll be visiting. Learn some basic phrases like hello, please, thank you, where's the bathroom. I don't speak Finnish or Dutch or Chinese or wherever you're going. I even printed out a little list of common phrases to have with me just to help me learn and remember that. And your partner will enjoy talking with you about that when they come and trying to learn some of their language, and they'll be wanting to learn more English as well. And also spend a little bit of time researching the education system in your host country. You can find a lot of information online as well. And sometimes you'll come across websites that are in a different language, and I found that you can often get a English translation of that in Google Chrome if you use the translation option in there. And look for the colleges you'll be visiting, and maybe those in the area that you want to take you to, or that you might be interested in seeing as well. If you don't already have a passport, work on that one ASAP. You'll want to get an application, which you can get at the post office and fill it out. And I think you usually have to submit that in person with documentation like a birth certificate and ID, picture ID, like a driver's license and such. So be sure to look up the information about that and where to go, and to get one right away if you don't have one already, because it can take a few months to receive your passport. And if you run into any problems, it could take longer. And also make sure if you do have a passport currently that it's good for at least 6 months beyond your return date, which sometimes is required by other countries or airlines and things. And you'll probably need to make your own flight arrangements, but talk with your ICISP representative about how your college usually handles that, and definitely plan ahead on getting your airline arrangements done several months in advance. If you're going to Finland, it's recommended you avoid flying through Heathrow if possible. It's not a big deal, but it is a big airport, and sometimes things get delayed and you can miss connections. So just a suggestion, and there are many different routes, so you might look at all the options and what is the best price and the best amount of time with the least amount of layovers. So carefully look through that as you're making your travel arrangements. Also, when you go, take gifts from your college. So talk to your marketing department. There might be some free giveaway items that you can take. You might be able to also get some items from your bookstore to take to your partner or their colleagues and others at their college that they would enjoy from your college. And also think about some personal gifts you could take for your partner and their family. So maybe some book about your local community, or something representative of your area or your state that would reflect the culture that you're a part of, and something they would find interesting. It's also useful to go with some local currency, which you can usually get at your bank. If you're going to Europe, euros are used almost everywhere except for a few countries. You can also use ATM cards or ATM machines abroad. I used a credit card quite a bit, which actually turned out to be cheaper in terms of the exchange fees and costs than using cash often. So that was convenient. I'd avoid exchanging money at an airport or touristy place, because they'll usually charge you a greater service fee to exchange money. Also, you might want to inform your health insurance company that you're traveling abroad, or find out policies about getting health care abroad if necessary. Also, contact your bank and your credit card company about your traveling abroad and the countries and times you'll be away, so they don't think there's fraudulent activity on your account and shut it down. I found Visa and MasterCard are a lot more widely accepted than Discover, American Express, or credit cards abroad, so consider taking one of those, Visa or MasterCard. And for more information on current exchange rates, you can look online. Here's one website, but there are many others. Just to get a good idea of what a fair exchange rate might be, so you're aware of that, and also just what things cost as you see prices in a different currency. When you go, plan to pack half as much as you think you'll need. Americans often take way too much stuff. And discuss the laundry options with your partner before you go. You may only need 4 or 5 days worth of clothes, and you can wash them. You don't need to take 2 weeks worth of stuff, which will be a lot. Also, check the forecast and temperatures for what type of clothing that you might need to take, and be prepared for. And also talk with your partner about the type of clothing that you need to wear at the workplace there as well. And also leave room in your suitcase, because you might want to bring back some stuff that you find there. Maybe you'll be given some gifts or find some things that you want to buy and bring back. So leave some space for that. You'll need to take electrical adapters abroad, so you can find that at many different stores and discount stores, and usually adapters that are adaptable to many different countries, and for Europe or Asia, things like that. So you'll want to take that to be able to charge your cell phone or computer or different devices. And give your emergency contact information to your partner, just in case something happens and that's needed as well. When you're traveling on the flight, I'd avoid alcohol or too much alcohol, because it will not help you adjust to the time change and the jet lag. And the first day or two you're there, especially, I'd get out and enjoy the sunshine if it's out, and be active so that you can stay awake and not fall asleep during the day, and stay awake so that you can try to adjust to the new time zone. Expect your sleep patterns are going to be disrupted. If most places we're going to will be several hours ahead of us, so you might have a hard time falling asleep at first, and a hard time getting up in the morning. And the first few days you'll be tired and trying to adjust, and that's normal. You may look at cell phone plans, and if you want to use that abroad or not. I found I could pretty much just operate off of using Wi-Fi, and at the college or home or other locations to stay in touch, using messaging apps and email and that kind of stuff. So you may or may not really need an international plan, but you might want to be aware of what your options are with your service provider. And if there's something that your partner suggests that you feel uncomfortable with or don't think is suitable, just be polite and ask them if you can do something different. And also be sensitive to that when they come to visit you as well. And remember that American homes tend to be much larger than homes abroad, so especially in Europe and China. So be prepared for a smaller space, smaller room, smaller bathroom, smaller kitchen, and of course be respectful and courteous of that. Take short showers and so on. Just be respectful of your host and family there, and the space that you have. And also, when you're abroad, expect to get more exercise and less sleep. You'll probably be walking more, or biking, or traveling on public transportation, and you'll be busy doing a lot of activities. You'll definitely be more tired just with the time change, and with being busy and being in a new place and taking in a lot of new things. I expect to talk politics. A lot of people abroad, that's a more common topic. They like to talk about politics and want to know about what your opinion is about American politics and things going on here. Be prepared to give a presentation about your college and maybe your community and home, and you could have that online available or on a USB drive so that you could easily give that when needed. Also, you might want to be just aware of some online maps or places that you can show your host and family or colleagues or others that you visit while you're abroad about your home location and home state and such. And while you're abroad, you might want to keep a journal or a blog. You'll enjoy going back to that later and remembering the things that you did and experienced, and and what was going on. And definitely take lots of pictures. You'll enjoy having those and going back to them later and showing your friends and family. And of course, be flexible and have fun. When you're traveling abroad, things often don't work exactly as you expect, or take longer, or you might get lost, or whatever. But just be flexible and enjoy the time that you have there, and maybe you'll get to do some things you hadn't planned on, or not get to do everything you had hoped to do. But just be flexible and enjoy the time that you have. And also know what your college expects of you when you come back. So they might want you to give a presentation on your experience, or just talk with others about your experience there, maybe with colleagues and students. So think about that as you're abroad, and maybe what you want to remember and what you could share when you come back. And maybe your experience there will inform your teaching or your way of doing your job as you see things done a little bit differently. Well, I hope this has been informative for you, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact your ICISP representative on your campus, or the representatives for the different countries in our consortium. Sangita for the Netherlands, Jacob for China, and myself, Jeff Knowles, for Finland. And all that contact information should be in the packet and information that you receive from ICISP. So thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great experience with your exchange partner here and traveling abroad.